So I'm Mathias from Nomadic, and today I will talk about staking, but staking as an infrastructure, and more precisely the liquid staking token that we are building in the protocol itself, and how it's architectured and how you can use it soon, I guess. So as with all other staking blockchains, and in particular, so with Tezos, we have direct staking that already exists, that allows any staker to participate in the whole governance mechanism by selecting the baker through which it can stake its funds. The stake is illiquid once it's staked, but we have full sovereignty over the selection of the baker, the full process of the staking. It's simple. There is no smart contract, no operator. Everything is handled by the staker and by the protocol. We have a second alternative that already exists, which is to use a private liquid staking token through which you gain some liquidity, because most of the time the solution is to use a smart contract to transform your tokens staked into tradable tokens that are liquid. And this allows to use those tokens through DeFi, but it's operator managed and using a smart contract, which can have some risks, and we'll discuss that in a moment. And then we have what we propose now, which is a canonical liquid staking token. So it's something that is embedded in the protocol to have liquidity, but so liquidity through a tradable token, the staked Tez, STez, without any operator, without any smart contract running. It's all handled by the protocol and managed directly by the staker. So why do we want this kind of infrastructure in the protocol? As I said, mainly because we consider that direct staking is optimal, but some people may need liquidity, in particular to use their token through DeFi. And we consider that only the protocol can give guarantee and guarantee neutrality of the usage of the system. So as I said, through private LST, there is an operator, there is a smart contract that can be upgraded by this operator. Through Canonical LST, there is no operator. The risk is handled by the protocol itself. The governance, the upgradability is handled by the protocol, and we consider that it mitigates, removes even the risk completely, this risk, this neutrality risk. And it's not a competitor to private LST, or at least we don't consider it that way, because private operators can still build their systems and provide some very specific, dedicated UX that may be better for some kind of DeFi integration. And they can also build on top of the Canonical LST new features, new tools, new products. So let's go a bit into the mechanism itself. So Canonical LST is based on the accrual model, which is quite simple, as you can see. Here we have everything that is running following this exchange rate equation. The exchange rate is very simple. It's the total amount of Tez in the ledger divided by the total amount of staked Tez in circulation. So this means that, for instance, when you have some rewards accrued to the system, to the ledger, the staking rewards increase accordingly. If a slashing event occurs, the total amount of Tez will reduce, and the exchange rate will be reducing accordingly too. And the total amount of Tez in circulation is only modified when there is a deposit or redemption of token by a staker. So let's go a bit more into the mechanism itself. So we have this system enshrined in the protocol, and if you are a staker, you can, as you would through any FA2 contract, deposit some Tez into a contract, something that looks like a contract but is actually embedded in the protocol. And when you do that, you have automatically some STs that are minted and accrued to the ledger, to the wallet of the staker, and the Tez that are added to the ledger of the system. This Tez, this ledger, is used to and is allocated across the bakers that participate in the whole system through protocol managed parameters. At some point, if a staker wants to redeem some STs that it can have minted itself or exchange outside of the system, as it could with any FA2 fungible token, once it does that, it will automatically trigger a non-stake request, which will transfer the Tez into the frozen mechanism. And after some freezing period, which is very similar to what we already do with direct staking, the Tez will be transferred back to the wallet of the staker that did the end-staking. So let's discuss a bit about the allocation of stake for the baker. So as I said, it's deterministic, it's on-chain, it's handled by the protocol with protocol parameters. Still, bakers can declare some parameters themselves, some fee and capacity, and we want to ensure that everything is capped to ensure that no baker can get the control of the whole system, and to ensure also that there is still some room for direct staking and other solutions for staking that may exist. As I said before, there is a slashing mechanism that is socialized through the exchange rate. We won't punish a single staker through slashing. It's shared among all the participants of the system. And as I said before, there is no upgrade of the system that can go without a governance vote, because the system itself is part of the protocol. So as anything in the protocol in Tezos, if you want to update it, you have to go through the amendment, through an amendment proposal and the governance vote. So in the end, the only privileged actor of the canonical LST is the protocol itself. And through it, of course, all the bakers, all the actors of the Tezos ecosystem that participate in the governance process. As we've seen before, the accrual model is very simple, and this is very important because this opens these systems to institutional adoption. Everything is computable through two values, the number of Tez in the system, in the ledger, and the number of STs actually minted. And this is accessible directly through the chain without the need of any oracle. And with it, you can have the net asset value of the token at any time easily computable. Also, there is no regular airdrops of tokens. Everything is handled in the system through this exchange rate, which means that it's very simple to use this system for tax declaration, etc. And as I said before, the contract, the interface that is used to handle the stake is completely compatible with FA 2.1, which means that it's a standard in a Tezos ecosystem, and it can be used with any tool, any wallet that is compatible with FA 2. So we think that this very simple design is what opens canonical LST to more adoption, and in particular institutional adoption, where simplicity and standard accounting is important. So where are we in this project, and when can you try and use it? So currently we are preparing a testnet that should be live very soon and will be open to everyone to test as a staker or as a baker. We hope to have everything ready and activated with protocol V, which we expect to see in September. We have some formal verification of the invariant of the system and the compatibility with FA 2.1 that are being worked on currently. There is a white paper also that you can download and read if you want more details about the system, so don't hesitate to flash the QR code. And there are some discussions ongoing. So as I said, we hope to have it active for protocol V, which means that there is still some time to adapt some parameters in particular. and there is some decisions to take. So there are some discussions already on Tezos Agora, and I invite you, if you're interested into the staking, in the mechanism, in the governance in general, to join those discussions, to participate, to give us your feedback, because there are still some decisions in the parameters at least, and maybe more, to make. In particular, we need to decide the caps, the unbonding duration, if we want stakers to be able to participate in voting or not, things like that. So for all these decisions, all these discussions, please join Tezos Agora, give us your feedback, and as with everything that is Tezos related, even if the feature is live, we can still discuss, we can still improve it, we can still amend it with the next protocol. So, of course, this is a project of a whole team. I'm just a small actor in this team. So thanks to this team. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate.
Amazing, thank you. I do have a question, probably I'll kick off the Q&A. Do you think that every major chain will eventually need the protocol level liquid staking token?
I think if they want neutrality, they should. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, let me just go around and pass the microphone.
Hello. So could you elaborate on the socialized slashing? Like, does that mean that everyone will share in a slashing penalty if one staker misbehaves?
Yes, exactly.
So everyone participating in the liquid staking protocol will share a slashing?
Yes, exactly. But if you remember, a few protocols ago, we have introduced adaptive slashing. So in general, slashing is very rare first. And it should be a very small amount that is slashed anyway, unless it's a collusion of stakers or some actors with very large amount of stake that is slashed. And in this case, this is clearly an attack, or looks like an attack, and the slashing can be more important.
Thank you.
I kind of know this work, but maybe you could say a few words about the invariance, the formal verification that is ongoing?
Not so much. I'm not completely aware of this full work. I know that in particular, what is checked. So what I know is that the FA2.1 compliance is checked. For the invariant in particular, I don't know yet. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Mathias.